No, that was a lot of fun. I knew had got some questions about if our kids were going to keep fighting and all that. They've been fighting. I think we played more of a complete game today, and it's awesome to do it in the bounce house on homecoming. So I'm really happy for the group today.
Coach, it's been a tough 3 weeks. How important was it for this team to have a win like this today?
This one was really important. Just we had our chances in the last three, and I think if we would have played our best, there's a chance we could have got one or two or more of them, but we didn't, and that's part of growing up as a football team. But we needed to get back on the right track with some momentum, especially going into a bye week.
Scott, you had Cam was listed as out, and then you had Taven come in. What was kind of the situation at quarterback? Who was Taven's backup? Was Davio intended to be the backup, or what was this?
Yeah, Cam, I can't tell you how much respect I have for him. He has a couple broken ribs. We didn't know about it till midweek. He practiced with it. He finished the game with it. So it says a lot about how tough he is. Jakari was emergency for us. He's still not quite ready to go, but he would have gone in if we really needed it. So we really went in with Tay and Davi.
Coach, the offense is moving the ball really well in the first half. Just a few missed opportunities on fourth down in the second, but then in the third quarter, you guys come back out firing. What was kind of the talk in halftime to capitalize on those opportunities that you wanted all week?
I think we just talked about how well we played, except for we got to get the short yardage figured out. Looking at it on tape, on the sideline, we just didn't execute very well on a couple of the runs. Now, if you tell me we're going to go for it on fourth downs and score touchdowns on two of them, I would probably take that. But we got to be able to line up, run the ball, and get a yard, and that's something we'll certainly continue to look at over the bye week. But other than the short yardage stuff, I thought you're not going to hit on everything, but we executed at a higher rate today than we have, and we made some big plays, and that's the ingredient that's been missing.
We went for it on fourth down a few times this game. What went into the attacking mindset?
To be honest, Jeff Love, one of my recruiting guys, has the analytics, and I'm not a pure analytics guy. I think the feel of the game has a lot to do with it, but the only one I question is, up 14, we went for it, and they went and got a touchdown. And if you get it, great. If you don't, you hope your defense can stand up and not make it a one-score game again. But I think, it was the right call. We just got to be a little better.
You and Coach Grinch have talked about the need to create turnovers. You did that today, and it results in the score. How big was your defense?
The defense has been playing really good for a while. I think this was their most complete game, starting with the fact that a play like that changes the game. That was still a ball game when Nigel got a strip and Kelly took it back, and that blows it open. This, not counting the interception and getting on the ball late, our defense probably would have had 2 straight second-half shutouts. It says a lot about the job Coach Grinch is doing, and those guys, they can continue to get better despite missing some pieces now. I think that group's starting to come together and play as a unit, and we didn't have any major busts either, so we didn't give up any big plays because of mistakes, and I think the combination of that and the turnover, I think that was their best game.
You've had some injuries along the line, so you've got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. A lot of different guys getting in the mix.
Say that again.
A lot of different guys getting in the mix. You needed to step up with injuries along your defensive line.
Yeah, and I'm happy with how some were playing. We've had a couple losses there. I think we have pretty good depth because of the way we had to build the roster so late and with all these new guys. But we paid a lot of attention to even the guys kind of down the way a little bit, and they're getting their chance now at a bunch of different positions, and see some good things from them.
Coach, this week threw the ball a lot. It seemed like you were a lot comfier getting big plays in the passing game. What do you think led to that happening today?
Well, Taven's got a special ability to throw the football, so it starts with that. I thought our O-line did a good job protecting and giving him the opportunity to do that. And it's kind of been the issue on some drives in a couple games. When we get first downs, you just have more opportunities to throw it, and therefore more opportunities to create a big play in the pass game. And we did enough the rest of the time to earn the right to take those shots.
And with Taven in that first touchdown on the fourth down there, first to back-to-back fourth down touchdowns, right? But you seem to have a little extra poise, kind of waiting for that opening to come before he got rid of the ball. Are we seeing him kind of grow with plays like that?
I think so. That's just going to come with experience. There's a great play by him. When he took off, I thought he was going to run for the first. Chris Domerkamp had a great game, and it's good to see him stepping up. On that play, we work scramble drill all the time, and he did a great job running to space and finding an area and hit his eyes downfield and made the throw. And you know, you can call a great game and call the right play all the time, but that's football, and plays are going to break down. And if you have guys that can make plays in those situations, then you're a better team.
How do you feel like the offensive line did on the whole without Paul playing there? And what was kind of his week leading up to the game, because he was still listed as questionable with you today?
Yeah, he's got an ankle, so it's not going to be long. You know, he's one of our leaders, so it was, you know, a little discouraging going into the game without him, but he wants to be back, and he'll be back soon. You know, I got to watch the tape, but Owen Spell was ready to step up. You know, we're using Connor Meadows at tackle and kind of in another role right now, and it's a good thing we have those guys. They're plenty capable going in and performing.
Then it's Sincere Edwards. He posted that he had a surgery on over the last couple of days. Is his injury going to be season-ending?
Yeah, he has a foot, Liz Frank, so he's done for the year. Tough loss for us. Mostly, again, I say this every time, but man, you talk about a kid that works hard and a big part of our team, and we'll certainly miss him, but you know, other guys got to step up, and we'll be right there with him as he gets healthy.
Coach, your pass rush had quite the day. First time getting 5 or more sacks since the Peach Bowl, actually, in your first in. And then, of course, you had that scoop and score as well. Just what were you seeing there with the pass rush today? And, of course, you know, the lowest passing yards all season.
You know, it was strange how the season's kind of worked out. Those guys haven't had a ton of opportunities to rush the passer. And I'm not making excuses for them, but you know, our first game, we played a team that didn't throw it very much, and the second game they didn't throw it very much, and Kansas State was a little heavier run, and then Cincinnati got ahead of us, and that was more of a run game. And this is the first time we've been ahead in a game and put the other team in a position where the quarterback needed to throw it, and then we can let our guys hunt for sacks. And so the situation of the game dictates that too.
Coach, the defense largely made West Virginia one-dimensional running the ball. What did they do to basically take away the pass game altogether?
Oh, that's kind of who they've been this year, so it wasn't kind of unique to this game. You know, they do a good job with their run scheme and quarterback runs, and then they're going to throw it off that if you're not in coverage and discipline. And that's where our secondary did a really good job when the quarterback took off with a run or pass option of staying on their guys and making them run it. And then our pursuit to football was good. You know, I got so much respect for Coach Rodriguez as a coach. And I said earlier this week the classy gesture that they made, sending us note cards after Coach Clark's passing. I just think he's a good guy and a good football coach. You know, they're going through the same first-year stuff that we are. He told me they had 72 or 3 new players. You know, that's yeoman's work to get that many new guys playing well. So I don't have any doubt that they'll continue to improve, but our defense was up to the challenge today.
Noe showed off his leg again today. What kind of confidence does that give you as a decision maker?
It gives me 3 options, you know, and it's really nice to have a guy that you feel like can hit it from over 50. And he was a captain this week because he's earned that, and thought he had a great day. And if he can make those, you know, it changes my play calls a little bit, knowing that I have that in the back pocket, and he's a big piece of what we're doing.
Scott, heading by with a little bit of momentum and a good feeling. How much will that kind of carry this team in the second half of the season?
This team believes, and they're going to keep fighting regardless of one game or another. And I've told you guys that the last couple of weeks. This team's starting to come together. The vibe in the building and the locker room is really good. They believe. They needed a win to really boost that belief, but I think they believe they're going to have a chance every time we go out there. And then we just got to keep getting the execution hotter and hotter so we can be a little bit better every week, and we'll keep taking swings. But it's a really good group.
And Coach, you didn't have Paul Rubo out there at the O-line, but they still had a pretty good game. Taven Jackson had a clean pocket for the most part. How do you just kind of overall evaluate their performance today?
I thought the O-line played well. I think they've continued to get better. You know, you can't discount some of those long runs that we're getting. We got guys with speed that when they get on the second level with, you know, clean, they got a chance to make a big play, but that starts up front. And, you know, the last few weeks we've had several plays where a big hole opens and we got guys that can go through it. That's the guys up front. The passes can't happen unless the quarterback has time. So we got a bunch of guys playing up there too, at guard, at tackle. I think they're doing a good job and getting better every week.
Scott, how do you assess your running game? I know Jaden had a big run and Miles had a couple big runs, but overall, are you pleased with what they've been able to do? I mean, early on it seemed they struggled a little bit after Miles had his big run to start.
Yeah, again, it goes back to every play is not going to work and you want it to. I get the most frustrated out of anybody, trust me, because you spend all week designing something and you know this is going to hit and then it doesn't. But you know, we ran for over 200 yards, and that starts up front. It's like anything else with us right now. I want it to be more consistent. I want us to be able to rely on, even if the run's not completely there, getting 4 or 5 tough yards and not being behind the sticks. So we got to keep working on consistency with young players, and I think that'll continue to get better, and it has.
It kind of looked familiar seeing number 10 run some of those plays. So how would you assess Davy Milford and how he did?
I thought he came in and he's just got a lot of spirit. The team loves him. You know, great kid, good character. He can really run. He's really fast. And we're trying to get a Speedy that I thought Rolston scored. I have to look at the replay, and then we were trying to get Speedy in the end zone, and they played that really well. And we went backwards, and then we went backwards on the next snap, and gave him a chance, and he made it happen with his legs. So. He prepared really well. He was excited to go in the game. I thought he did a good job.
Just a few more. Taven spread the ball around, but had a good connection with Domerke today. What did you like about Domerke?
Chris has continued to get better, and he's played more football than a lot of our guys, just at another place. So I think his experience kind of shines through, but just like everybody else in that room, he continues to develop. Same thing, we got to get more consistent in being in the right place at the right time, making the catch. And we still left some things out there today, but CD definitely has been improving every week and had a good game.
Coach Ross, you mentioned the past 3 weeks that the team has needed to take advantage of the opportunities, especially in these close games, come out in the second half. How pleased were you to see that they kind of put the opponent out the game pretty much early in the half?
Yeah, I mean, it was basically one good drive by the offense and one play by the defense, and the thing's about over. And, you know, my message all week was, you know, we need more splash plays, impact plays that change a game, and we got several of them today. And I think if we can keep in a little more consistent and continue to find some game-changing plays on both sides of the ball and special teams, you know, we're going to be competitive.
Coach, every scoring drive was under 5 minutes of possession time. How does it feel to start getting that tempo that you've always stressed?
Yeah, it's year one. You know, I would like to go fast more. Sometimes we don't get lined up right. Sometimes the guys are a little more gassed than they would be if we were doing it all the time. It's a process. But most of the reason we had short time possession drives is because we hit some big plays. And if you get chunk plays, you're not going to have the ball very long. When you're battling with consistency, it's tough to have a 14-play drive. But if you can get a chunk somewhere, there's not enough space on the field to have a 14-play drive. And then you're going to run fewer plays, and if you execute those, you score. So that's all the stuff, the hurdles that we're getting over right now. And you know, hopefully we can continue evolving. But I thought the guys did a decent job with the tempo today. I'd love to see more of it.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Coach.